Great to have you on my show. This is the Shubh Vardhan show. We are here serving millions of people to upgrade their life, the way they live, the way they want to thrive and grow. So today I have you on the show so that you can add more value to people's life, sharing your experience, your knowledge on how to really upgrade with their entrepreneur mindset. So thank you
Yes,
so much for being here. You can
thank you for
introduce
having me.
yourself for our audiences.
Yes, well, my name is Nicki I'm 48 years old. I live in Amsterdam.
Great.
Before that, I lived 10 years in Tokyo. And when I moved there, I started my own business called Tokiotours. So that was back in 2013. And Tokyo Tours has grown to be a company that now has 75 people working for it. And it's spread out from Hokkaido to Okinawa and everything in between. So we work mainly with local guides. So
Okay.
we offer a lot of different guided tours throughout Japan with local guides.
Great, amazing work that you're doing because, like, tourism and traveling industry is really important because people need to really explore the world and different perspectives. When we move around the world, we really see different colors, diverse things. So you're
Mm,
doing a great job. I would
thank
like to know from you that you've built a successful business. Now, what do you feel is core foundations of an entrepreneur that helps him or her to really build a business or start a startup, or they
you.
are on a journey building their business? Then what do they require the most in their mindset or as a foundational core?
Well, first of all, you need to have a good idea. So you need to see what is lacking and what can you bring to the table. So, for instance, a friend of mine, he developed a watch for children, so they wouldn't get lost. But actually, he didn't do his research properly. And later on, after the watch was developed, he found out that most people actually prefer to buy like a plastic bracelet just with the phone number of the parents. Even if you have a great idea, if no one is willing to pay for your idea, or there's already another solution out there that solves the problem in a very much easier and cheaper,
Convenient way, yes.
still you might not accomplish what you want to accomplish. So first of all, you need to have the idea, you need to know what's out there, like how do you compare to your main competitors, and work on your idea consistently. So in Japan, they have mentality that's called kaizen, and kaizen is aimed to improving what you're doing day by day, but by minuscule steps. So every day you need to
Right.
try and improve yourself 1% more than what you did the day before, and then overall this 1% is going to add up. And if you look back compared to last year, you've made a tremendous improvement. So I think that's very important too. And lastly, what I feel has really contributed to my success is you need to acknowledge where are your strengths and where are your weaknesses, and you need to partner up with people that can complement you. So they are strong where you are weak, or and vice versa. And yeah, and be humble enough to listen to the success of others and to listen to the advice of others. So if someone else has a different opinion from your own, don't stubbornly be like, no, I'm going to do whatever I feel is best, but listen to their point of view. Even if you don't agree, there are still going to be things that you can learn from them, and things that you can maybe adjust or change to improve your way of thinking and way of doing things.
Absolutely. So there are, really nice takeaways from whatever you said. Like, first, you really need small, simple, small steps. I agree with that absolutely. And secondly, you said environment matters a lot. Like, when we are on the steps towards success, we really need someone who has already done that and can
Mm-hmm.
show us the right path. Nice. Thank you so much for putting that point forward. My next question to you is that, yes, everyone fails, everyone, faces some obstacles, challenges, and they
Mm-hmm.
need to overcome that. Now,
Yes.
what do you feel is the biggest challenge on this entrepreneurial journey, and what kind of a mindset is needed to, really overcome that? Just tell me about that biggest challenge that you have came across and you have overcome that.
Oh, yes, for sure. Well, you have to try not to let the small things bother you too much. It helps if you have some people in your friend group, or maybe you're part of an entrepreneurial group, who can help you and who you can talk to when you get a different perspective from someone else. You realize that things are not as bad as they seem. So sometimes when things are not going as you had expected, it can really drag you down and make you feel bad about yourself or bad about what you're doing. But if you look at it from another perspective, maybe you'll get a new insight. So that really helps to have friends or family or other entrepreneurs that can help you when things are tough. Sometimes you just have to look at it from another point of view, and then you get new insights. So that's really important, I feel. And also, um, try to refocus what you're doing. So instead of seeing something as a mistake, try to see what can I learn from it.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if we receive a bad review from clients, we always take that very seriously, because that's actually a very important tool that we can use to improve our service. So we always come together and then look at what can we learn from this, what can we do differently in the future to not make the same mistake again, and how can we improve even more. So actually every mistake that you make is basically a learning opportunity if you look at it from the right side.
Absolutely agree with you. Now this is like majorly everyone's mindset up there, that if I've made these kinds of mistake, then I suck at this, or I cannot do it. And but thing is that you can, every time you can learn, every time.
Exactly.
It is not that you fail, it's that you open door for new ideas, ways of doing the same thing. If that one way didn't work for you, that doesn't mean there are not other different ways. So you need to see it from the right side. A lot of times we
Exactly.
don't see it from that angle.
The guy who invented the Dyson vacuum cleaner, um, he made a few thousand prototypes and none of them worked. And then his friends started saying, "Oh, you've already made so many failures, and you haven't been able to progress much. It seems like what you want is impossible. Why don't you just stop what you're doing, because it seems like all you're doing is failing?" And then he said, "No, because now I know 500 ways how not to make a Dyson vacuum
Yeah.
cleaner." So that is actually very valuable to me. So don't look at it as 500 failures. Look at it as 500 ways how not to do something. And sometimes how not to do something can be almost as valuable as how to actually come to the final product, or the final idea, or final service, or whatever it is you're doing.
Absolutely. And this actually is a wider perspective towards our work that we do. Absolutely. This changes the whole paradigm of our, business and entrepreneurial journey. Absolutely. Now, my
Mhm.
next question to you is, what triggered your entrepreneur journey? Like, what gave you that kick inside of you that now I'm on the right path, or this is a specific kind of turning point for me and my business? This point,
Uh,
I'm not going to look back.
yeah, well, there were several, but basically, I moved to Japan with my then Japanese husband back in 2011, and he told me, I've never lived as a Japanese person in Japan, and that's something I would like to explore. So, would you consider moving to Japan for like 2, 3 years, and then we'll move back to Netherlands? So I didn't really take it much into consideration. I thought, oh yeah, 2, 3 years. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll be a housewife for 2, 3 years, and then I'll pick up my career again when I come back. So we moved there, and my assumption was like Tokyo, Sydney, London, New York, Paris is all kind of same level, no? So my expectation was like everyone will be able to speak English, it will be easy for me to find a job. And then it turned out that wasn't the case at all. So then I thought, oh, I'll just study Japanese, and then I've already studied Mandarin before, like Mandarin Japanese
Yeah.
should be similar, should be not that hard. But Japan or Japanese is like a totally different level. It's so difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then I studied Japanese for 2 years, and then 2 years in, I still wasn't at the level where I could get like a full time paid job. That my Japanese proficiency was on that business level. So then a friend of mine came over, and she said, "Why don't you become a tour guide?" And my background is in economy. So I told her, are you insane? Become a tour guide? I don't know anything about tourism. Um, how am I going to start my own business? I don't even speak the language well enough to get a job, let alone start my own business. So she said, oh, well, all you need is like a simple website and an email address, and the rest will follow. And more kind of to prove her wrong, I decided to create the website and the email address so I could say, see, it didn't work, it was a rubbish idea. But then after 1 week, I already received an email from my first client asking me if they could book a tour with me. So I was really like blown away, like, oh, I so not
This
expect.
works.
So that was kind of the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. It was a kind of like a dare or some advice from a friend. And then 3 months in, a girl, she emailed me, and she said, I see that you offer guided tours. Would you consider hiring me? So then I was like, hiring you? So do I get this straight? You will be working and I'm going to get paid? And she said, well, yeah, that's generally how that works. So I was like, oh, that actually sounds really good. So I never really thought about hiring other people. I thought I would just do this as a freelance, work for yourself kind of person. And I never considered it as a business model. And then when she came up with that idea, I was like, oh, that sounds really good. So always stay open to new ideas and new opportunities. And that is when my company really started growing, when I started hiring more and more people, started collaborating with travel agents, and then it was kind of like a oil spill. So the travel agent would be like, yeah, but Tokyo is nice, but what about Osaka, what about Kyoto, what about Nara, what about, and then it started uh,
Expanded. Yeah.
yeah, organically growing. And then in 2018, um, I found out that basically it was getting too big for me to handle. And also, I was supposed to move back to the Netherlands. So I asked one of my guys, would you consider buying the company from me? And she said, oh, no, that's a rubbish idea. But actually, I would consider becoming your partner. And again, I was like, oh, never thought about it. But what do you have in mind? And she told me, well, we can do a 50-50 partnership. This is what I'm good at. This is what I can contribute to the company. And let's discuss what your part can be. And that's when we kind of split up the tasks. And that was the best decision ever, because that's when I really started growing, because she was focusing on all the things that I'm not good at and that I don't get energy from, and I could focus on what I'm good at. And yeah, that
You
has.
both were complementing each other very nicely.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we do clash occasionally because she's very risk averse, and I'm always like, new ideas, bigger,
Mm.
better. So she's always pulling me back, and I'm always trying to push her forward, but still it works.
Trying new things always.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes I will be like, okay, let's circle back. I will try and talk to you about it in 3 months or 6 months and see how you feel. And sometimes I'm just dragging her along, like, come on, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. Trust me, it's going to be fine. So that's how we try to balance each other
Balance.
out. Hmm.
Absolutely. It was really inspiring because at a point of time, every business owner really needs to understand that they cannot do it all alone. They need
Exactly.
assistance, they need a partner or someone who really adds up some values that they cannot bring onto the table. And this is
Hmm.
really amazing that this that day when you hired a person, your business
Hmm.
must have shifted, as you said. So
Yes.
this is actually a big turning point in every entrepreneur's journey. They
Hmm.
need to add people into their, and they need to see their business as a third person, that okay, this is my business, this is growing, and there are people under them, there are people we are serving. It becomes a really big organization. It's
Yeah,
really
exactly. And
inspiring.
sometimes people talk about human capital, and I feel that is so true.
Yes.
If you look at how much time and energy it costs to um, acquire someone new and to train them and to show them the ropes and to get them to the level where you want them to be, that is such an investment compared to trying to keep on board someone already loyal to you, someone who already knows everything they need to know. So investing in human capital, that's the most important thing you can do. And you really need to cherish your people, because once they leave, they're gone, and it will be so hard to replace them. So yeah, people management and also listening to your people, see how they can grow, see how they can contribute more to the company. I
Yes.
think that's one of the most important things you can do as an entrepreneur if you want
And
to
first,
upskill.
yeah, firstly, an entrepreneur is by default a leader,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to lead people. And here there is a say by Zig Ziglar as well, that if you help other people get what they want, you get what you want. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that, if you help people under you grow more, like your employees, your team, then your business grows by default. So this is
Yes.
really amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are top-down managers or leaders, and there are bottom-up leaders. And I'm more of a bottom-up. I'm always asking for feedback. I'm always asking them. Um, I'm not only giving feedback, but I'm also asking feedback.
Yes.
Like, what do you think we can improve? Do you have any ideas? There's no such thing as a bad idea. Just let me know how you feel, and if there's anything that we can change, then always let me know, and I will take whatever you say very seriously. And also, I really stick up for my people, because
Yes.
um, clients can be very judgmental or unreasonable or nasty or whatever. So if I get negative feedback from a client, because some managers or bosses or companies, they throw their employees under the bus. So as
Hmm.
soon as they hear something negative,
Hmm.
they automatically side with the client. They're like, oh yeah, no, you're right, and we're going to fire this person, and like
Yes.
that. But I take a different approach. I
Hmm.
always stick up for my people. I always tell the client, I take your feedback very seriously, and we're definitely going to address it. But in my opinion, every story has two sides. So I'm
Hmm.
first going to investigate thoroughly and see what is the story from my people, and then come back to you with a solution. I never immediately side with the client.
Hmm.
I always want to know both stories and then come up with a good solution.
Hmm.
And often if a client is unhappy, I will also ask them, so what would help in this situation? What would make you feel better? What do you feel
Hmm.
is a reasonable response to this dilemma?
Hmm.
And see if I can look at it from their point of view. And if they're being unreasonable, then you just need to try and bend them. But always, if possible, try to meet them halfway and at least give them the feeling that they've been heard and that their complaints have been taken seriously.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And this is a big lesson as well, that always you need to look from both the sides and then make a decision that fits, like it's kind of a win win. So it's really important as a leader, as an entrepreneur, to make that kind of a decision that, like, for both customer and the employee, the team member, it fits. So it's really important. Now, I would like to know that what's the biggest mistake that you have made on your entrepreneurial journey, if ever?
Um, Well, sometimes I'm always very positive and very enthusiastic, so I sometimes don't see certain dangers or certain pitfalls. Like for instance, with 2020, with the coronavirus, I expected it to blow over. I didn't take it that seriously. I thought, this is just a blip, and then we'll go back to the way things were. So that was a big misconception on my part. So yeah, if anything happens, then always delve into it deeply and see how you can mitigate any kind of circumstances. Because especially with the Olympics that were supposed to happen in 2020, I thought there is no way the government of Japan is going to cancel the Olympics. Come on, that would be insane. They've put so much time and effort and money in it already. And then what happened? They canceled the Olympics. So yeah, take everything into consideration, have
Yes.
contingency plans,
To
like
be conscious and think in depth about the situations.
yes, and also diversify. That was a big lesson for me.
Hmm.
So I'm now working on a startup. It's called Elite Travel Experiences. And with this company, we offer package deals. So not just tours, but also hotels, drivers, experiences, and tours. And it's not just Japan, it's also Vietnam, Korea, and China. So we're diversifying, and I've just written a book that is about to get published in the next coming months. That's called Sushi, Sarcasm, and Second Chances, and is
Okay.
based. It's a fictional story, but it's based loosely on my life. So yeah, try not to focus on just one thing because you never know what's going to happen. And you might be out of a job tomorrow if something stupid happens that's beyond your control. So make sure you have multiple streams of revenue to fall back
Hmm.
on and have enough savings to tie
Yeah.
you.
So congratulations on your book, and this is a great lesson that we need to have multiple different sources of income because we cannot depend on only one. And
Mhm.
absolutely, in this fastest changing times, there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of ways that we can generate streams of income. So that's really important for a business. Like we see all the big businesses have different sources, streams. So it's inevitable for a business to expand that way, and we need to take that step. A lot of small business owners, they don't take that step. They say that okay, my one shop is enough for me or one stream is enough for me, but that's not the way to do it. You need
Yes.
something to like lie back on, or to have your back.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, just look at the tariffs now in the United States. So
Hmm.
many businesses are going bankrupt because
Hmm.
United States has put so many tariffs on so many different products from abroad. So, of course, that's something they could not have thought of like 6 months before, but still that's something you need to quickly jump into, like how can we mitigate this disaster and what can we
Hmm.
do, how can we speed up local production, or how can we change our sources of revenue to mitigate these additional costs that we have, because if you don't, you're going to go out of business.
Yes, absolutely. And with this also, we need to also find a way to mitigate things that are not working as well. Like what happens is that a lot of times we need to double down on things that are working, but on our own, like different zone, different world, we are living in a different altogether world in our mindset, and we don't double down on things that are working. We start experimenting new things. So we need to also understand that this is a business, and we can't always experiment new things if we don't have a backup. If you have a backup, go on, experiment. So right now, a lot of like, this is my next question to you: how we can see things that are not working in a business, and how to mitigate those things so that we go, like, we are in a safe zone.
Well, the funny thing is that now that you mention it, usually it's the other way around. People double down on things that are not working
Hmm.
because they already put so much time, so much effort, and so much energy into something. And along the way, they realize it's not working. So instead of pulling out, they're actually doubling
Yes, this
down
we call
because
sunk cost fallacy as well.
they still want to
Yeah,
have that result. So you need
absolutely.
to build in these moments for yourself along the way where
Hmm.
you look back, like what was the plan going forward, what were we able to reach up until now, what is the likely outcome if we pursue it for another 3 months. Is it likely going to turn around, or is it most likely not going to work out? And then you have to also admit defeat, also admit like, okay, this is clearly not working, we have to think of something else, or stop completely. That's sometimes the most difficult thing for an entrepreneur to do, because you've put so much time and effort into this idea that you had, that you thought was going to be amazing, and actually it's not. So you have to have the guts to say, okay, this isn't working, or it's not working right now, or doesn't seem like there's anything we can do to turn this around, so let's table this for now
Hmm.
and let's look for a different solution, or look for something that has a better chance of succeeding, rather than spending even more money and trying to still
Because
make
it's
it
not
work.
just costing our time or money, it's costing our precious life energy as well, that we
Yes.
can invest in a different new idea.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. And you shouldn't also spread yourself too thin. I mean, a friend of mine, he's always coming up with new ideas and always trying to get me to try new projects. But
Again,
I
that
always
is
tell him,
also not right to spread too thin.
yeah, exactly. Like
Hmm.
first, let's focus on what we're doing
Yeah.
right now. Let's try and make this a success. Let's finish it from A to Z. And
Hmm.
then when that is done, we can look at different projects. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I never want to explore these kind of things, but we need to make sure we do the right things in the right way rather than coming up with even better plans or even better ideas. Because if you don't follow through, then in the end, nothing happens.
Hmm.
You're doing everything a little bit, and in the end, nothing at all.
That means it's like that you're digging wells 100 different places, and you're not digging deep inside one particular place, so you'll never get a well out of that, get the water out. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So, of course, it's good to have ideas, and but you need to also establish a timeline.
Hmm.
Like, when do I want to?
Prioritize as well.
Yes, yes. When do I want to have a return on investment? What's going to happen in 6 months? What's going to happen
Hmm.
in 1 year? How are we going to manage every little step? So you go from one
All the
idea that
projection,
you have,
yes.
yeah, into little steps, and then you try to hit these milestones and go from there rather than getting distracted by something else, like, oh, but we can also do this, and oh, we can also do that. Like, no, let's focus.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. And now a lot of times what happens is that we as an entrepreneur fail because we don't have right kind of a system that we need to
Mhm.
follow every day or every week or quarterly or yearly. So we need to really have some systems or personal habits that build us as an entrepreneur and sharpens things. So what are those subtle habits or systems that an entrepreneur can set in his life for better growth, according to you?
Well, first of all, one of the pitfalls is that you don't stop working, because as an entrepreneur, you never really have a break, and you there's no such thing as a work week and a weekend. So you need to really set some boundaries for yourself, because before I was always working even on Saturdays and Sundays, and then I started drowning and I noticed I didn't have the energy, I couldn't focus, I was making mistakes. So first of all, you need to make
Set
boundaries, like,
boundaries. Hmm.
yes, like, and create these habits, like, what time am I going to get up? What time, from what time until what time do I work? And then also switch off your phone, switch off your laptop or whatever. I mean, if it's emergency, then of course, then you need to take care of it. But you need to make sure, like, okay, create some healthy habits. Also, when you go on holidays, make sure everyone that's important in your life knows, all your business contacts. Okay, I will not be able to be reached, or please contact this person because I'm away. Only contact me in emergency, something like that. But really, guard your time well. Make
Hmm.
sure that you spend the time that you have productively, because
Yes.
otherwise, again, the same with the whole digging, you only have a certain amount of energy. So if you
Hmm.
spread yourself too thin, then you're not accomplishing anything in the end. So take your rest, take your time, and do what you can, and build healthy habits.
Absolutely. And after habits, there is one more thing that people are like, even if they know what to do, but still they get distracted. Now, what's the
Hmm.
solution for that? How do they really align themselves onto one path only?
Yes. Well, first of all, you need to make sure you don't procrastinate. So what helps is I felt is the 5-second rule. So if you don't do something within 5 seconds, then you're least likely to actually do it. So set yourself a goal, make a list of things that you want to accomplish, and try to push yourself. Give yourself 5 seconds, and then you're going to do it. And as a reward, you can give yourself breaks, or you can, uh, like, if you want to purchase something nice or something, you can set that as a reward, or maybe a nice snack, or meet up with a friend, or have
An
lunch, or
outing.
yeah, so whatever works for you. And sometimes, even if you are in a slump, what helps me is to listen to my favorite music, maybe even do a little dance to kind of get out of your head, or go for a short 15-minute walk to get some
Or a
fresh air.
nice yoga session or
Yes.
aerobics.
Yeah, some new perspective. Usually when you do something active, that kind of triggers your body to, like, give yourself a slap in the face, sort of, and that helps you to move forward when you feel stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think about passion? Like, do I really need to be passionate about my work? Or what if I'm not passionate about my business and this is the only thing I need to do? Or another scenario, if something is my passion, but I don't know how to build it into a business. So, which one is profitable? Like, the passion leading to a business, or a business that I am already doing, I should turn it to a passion rather than starting a business that I'm passionate about. So, this whole scenario, can you give some light on this?
Yeah, it really depends. Both can work. So I do feel that um, if it's something you're passionate about and something that you really love, then it doesn't really feel like work. And especially on the days when you feel low in energy, you don't feel super well, it is easier to propel yourself to do what needs to be done if it's at least something that you enjoy doing. But I mean, if you're really good at something and it's not necessarily your passion, then that can work too. But yeah, ask advice of other people, even your friends or your coworkers. If it's just a side project, ask other people, what do you think I'm good at? What do you think I excel at? What do you admire about me? What do you think I do well? What do you feel are my pitfalls? What do you feel am I blind towards? All of these things, because that can give you new perspectives. And if you are open and willing to really listen and to take in the answers, because some of it might not be very nice to hear, and some of it might not be what you are expected to hear. So be open to criticism as well. That can really help you to grow, and to grow your business, and also to grow as a person. So and also occasionally, I don't think you should have to do it every day, but like once a month, or something like that, just write a few things down, like write down your goals, write down what you're doing to achieve those goals, write down um, your passions, uh, new ideas you want to explore. And then a month later, you can look back, like, okay, what have I achieved so far? How am I going? What can I do better? Maybe I've forgotten a few things that I set out to do last month, and then completely fell off my radar. So you can go back and you can hold yourself accountable, like, oh, maybe I should go back to doing this, or maybe I should go and try that again. So that also really helps to kind of make a framework for yourself, where you want to go and how you're going to go there.
Absolutely. It's not like you need to like forcefully continue on the same a thing, if you are passionate about something other as well and you discover it within time, then you can jump onto that business as well. And how I see it is that if your passion pays you, then it's
Hmm.
good. But if your
Yes.
passion is not paying you, people are not ready to, interestingly, like, pay for that thing, then you should become passionate about the things that really solve a problem and that the audience really needs. So it ultimately, for me, it's like that. If the passion doesn't solve a problem for a particular persona, or like the people are not ready to pay for it, then your passion is useless. Do it someday, like some other day. But right now, if you want to focus on a business, just look for a problem that you can solve and be passionate about that. Like, start becoming
Mhm.
passionate about solving that problem and creating that bridge. So this is how I
Yeah, or
see
you can just reframe it. So if your passion is not solving a problem,
it.
usually if you tweak it, then you can make it into something that solves a problem.
Yeah,
So how
this
can
can
I
also be
tweak?
done.
Yeah, how can I tweak this? What can I change? Maybe there's some small alterations that I can do, and also look at what other people are doing. So
Hmm.
I'm passionate about bananas, for instance. There's 10 other people that are passionate about bananas. How have they been able to create a business out of
Yeah.
bananas where I have not been able to do that? So just look at your competitors. I'm big on social media too. I'm always looking at what are my competitors
Hmm.
doing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes just tweaking it or doing something similar to what someone who's hugely successful is doing can help you to propel forward. And also realize that basically, especially when you're starting out, you are the brand. So what
Yeah.
do you bring to the table as a person? Why should people trust you? Why should people like you? And also push yourself forward, because you are your own spokesperson. So try to
Hmm.
make it personal so people can engage not just with your brand but with you, rather than the product that you're trying to push. Just look at what's his name, Tim Cook right now, but Steve Jobs
Hmm.
before, he's the face of Apple. You don't just buy an Apple product, you buy something designed by the Apple team. You have faith in them rather than wanting the new gadget.
Yeah. And this is also very true that buying is an emotional decision. So the way
Mhm.
that you can bring emotions are not with something non-living. It's by you. Okay, you are your own brand and
Mhm.
you are sold first, even before than your product. If the customer is liking you, the way you behave, the way your vision and mission is aligned with the product, then they connect with you first. This I also believe very firmly, that
Mhm.
I need to present myself, and then the customer is going to connect with me first and then my product. And
Exactly.
this one more thing is that anything in this world can be sold. You just need to know how to present it that way. So that
Yes.
you said, like bananas, how the other person is doing the business. Yes, definitely. My passion can also work if I know how to present it in such a way that people buy.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, and be consistent to really think about, who am I? What do I bring to
Hmm.
the table? What is important to me? What are my
Yeah.
values? What am I trying to achieve? What problems do I solve? And always have a consistent message every day when you talk about your product or you put something out or advertising or any everything has to fall within that branding that you're trying to establish. So don't do A today and B tomorrow. It all has to fit
Yeah,
under the
that
same
self
umbrella.
audit is required, analyzing again and again that is my message is aligning with the market that I want to serve, and is
Mm-hmm.
my offer also that particular kind of offer that my market really requires. That's
Mm-hmm.
really
Yes.
important. Yes. So like till here I felt really amazing recording this because you shared some really like nice and important golden lessons. And my
Mm-hmm.
last but not the least, my question is that how do I know that if an idea is worth giving a chance or not, because everything takes time and effort. So how will I not waste my time on things that are not working? And also,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to start from zero, then if I'm starting from zero, then I really don't have any experience about all these things. So how will I not waste much of my time and still land on the rightest thing? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's
different all
there's
day.
certain things that you need to realize, like how much is this going to cost me. So in terms of time, in terms of investment, in terms of things that you may need to learn to be able to implement your idea. So that is first very important. How much is it going to cost me? What is going to be the initial investment for me? And am I able to bring that? So, like for instance, if you want to start a podcast and you realize, oh, I will need to post something every week, I need to put out an episode every week, I don't have the time to put out an episode every week, then maybe this is not the right time to start that podcast. Or I need financial investment to buy machinery or something like that, and you don't have that, or it's going to be difficult to acquire a loan, then maybe that's not the right time for you to do that, or maybe you should try something else instead. So that's the first thing you need to do. And then the second thing is to see what's out there. So are there take the podcast again, are there already like 1 million podcasts on this subject? Can I bring something different to what all the others are doing? How am I going to stand out? What is my unique selling point? Can I bring something really refreshing, something really new, a new take or whatever? Or am I going to just be the same as everyone else? Because if you don't have that extra, you can go
That
the
X
extra mile.
factor.
Yeah, then it's not going to work, because why would people want to choose you instead of someone else? So that is another thing. Like, what makes you special? What makes your product, your service,
Unique.
what, yeah, stand out? And if you have that, lastly, I would say go and make a SWOT analysis. So what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities, and what are potential
The
pitfalls
threads. Yeah.
you will see along the way, and try to plot out the first year. So with my current strengths and weaknesses, what can I expect this coming year to happen? Try to imagine that. And if you feel like, okay, these opportunities are enough for me to succeed this first year, and there's not anything holding me back, then go for it, give it a try. And if not, then try to partner up with people that can help you succeed, or get a mentor, or get a coach, or have some friends, or go in a entrepreneur group, or there's so many opportunities. You just have to find what works for you. I mean, even on Facebook, there's lots of groups that you can join, where people can give advice or help, or be accountability buddy or something like that. So there's many ways you can succeed. You just have to sit down, really think about what is it I want, and then the rest should go by itself.
According to you, what's the easiest or fastest, let's say, let's make it fastest way to get reach our first 100 clients in our business?
Well, that really, really depends on what it is you want to do. Like, are you going to be a coach, or uh, are you? Do you have a physical product, or do you have a service? Or first of all, you need to go back to your brand. Who are you? What is it you're trying to offer? What problem do you want to solve? And how are you going to put yourself out there? So what works best for your market? How are you going to reach them? Plot out the customer journey from the moment they get the idea, like I want this product or I want this service, until they actually have that. So is it going to be through direct selling? Is it, do you need a website? Is it going to be easy through social media, or maybe you can use WhatsApp to get clients, or maybe door to door, or maybe through friends recommendations, or maybe you need reviews for people to know about your business. So it really depends on what it is you want to do. There's not a one size fits all in that regard.
Nice. Thank you so much for your insights on entrepreneurship. And there has been a lot of, valuable nuggets that I see, and the people who will be watching it are going to really be mind blown by the answers that you've given, because it comes from a place of experience and
Yes.
hard work and also success, because you've built it and you've gone through that journey. That
Yeah, and just stay determined, like uh during COVID, my business went bankrupt basically, so I needed to find another job. So I had
okay.
to do like a 9 to 5, and everyone was saying like, oh, you should just stop the business. Why are you continuing putting time and effort and energy in this? It's never going to recover. So don't listen too much to what other people say. Hold on to your own vision and your own dreams. And if you feel that it's going to pay off at some point, just keep at it
Hmm.
and put your passion out there, put your time and energy in it, and eventually it is going to pay off if you are consistent and keep working on it, because your passion is going to shine through and people will notice at one point. Sooner or later you will be a success.
Absolutely. 100% agree on that. Thank you so much, Nikki, for sharing so valuable, so much, insights and valuable lessons. I was, delighted by the, way you answered the questions. I would request all the people who are watching till this point, just type your three big key takeaways from this session.
Mhm.
Whatever you have learned or you have taken away and you're going to apply it, just we would love to read your comments below. Anything last as a message that you want to give to our audience, Nikki?
Well, yes, you can. If you want to reach out, you can follow me on social media. My business is called Tokiotours. It's spelled the Dutch way because I'm Dutch. So Tokio, not with a Y, Tokyo with an I, and then tours, Tours. My website is www.tokiotours.nl or tokiotours.com. And I have a personal Instagram that you can reach out to. It's Nicki, Nicki underscore Amsterdam. So I would love to hear from you soon.
Amazing. A really well spent time here. Thank you so much for being on this show. And I look forward to do, other meetings as well with you on different various topics that adds value to our audiences. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. And I would love to come back someday and catch up, see what's going on.
Learning never ends. So
Exactly.
I got to learn a lot from you. I would like to
I'm so
acknowledge that.
glad. That's so nice.